Hello and welcome to Fast Track's Insider Guide with me, Michelle Yana Chan. The Fast Track team are on the move. You'll be seeing Mexico, Miami and the Gulf coming up soon on BBC World News. And I'm back from the rainforest of South America, where I discovered it's not only in Europe that you can find French and Dutch spoken side by side. I was exploring Suriname and French Guyana, some of the least visited countries on the continent, yet with some fascinating cultural history. And I'll be bringing you more on that part of the world later in April, but looking ahead, here are my top tips on where to travel and what to see over the next few months. Now this one's close to my heart. One of the world's top regattas, Antigua's Sailing Week, takes place at the end of April with hundreds of yachts racing in some of the best sailing conditions in the world. Well, if you're not on a boat, the next best place to be is Shirley Heights Lookout with its sweeping ocean views. And don't miss the rest day midweek when historic English Harbour is the setting for street parties and steel bands. Try to get here a week or two earlier when the Antigua Classic takes place and the Caribbean Sea is dotted with elegant vintage yachts and tall ships. In Sri Lanka, all of the country's 14 national parks are now open for the first time in decades. The last one, which just reopened its gates, is Wilpattu in the northwest, off limits for over 25 years because of the conflict in that area of the country. Well, Sri Lanka's Department of Wildlife Conservation says the park's now demined and is a great place for spotting leopard as well as the sloth bear and elephant. But if you want some guaranteed wildlife sightings, head to Pinawella Elephant Orphanage, a couple hours outside the capital, Colombo. The best time of day to be there is 10:30 a.m. or 2 p.m. when the elephants are taken down to the Mahaoya River for a drink and bathe. A new theme park, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, opens in Florida on May 1st. There's a full-size Hogwarts castle and a chance to stroll the streets of Hogsmeade. But if you're bound for the new theme park in Orlando, then don't miss Cape Canaveral, less than an hour away. Even more unearthly than the wizarding exploits of Potter are the regular shuttle launches here, so check NASA's website for the next. On June 8th, Austria offers the very best in classical music when the Vienna Philharmonic stages a free Summer Nights concert in the grounds of Schönbrunn Palace. Last year, over 100,000 people enjoyed the grand surroundings and world-class music. Take a blanket for the grass as seating is limited, and don't forget wet weather gear just in case. Most importantly, pack a picnic with cakes from my favourite Viennese patisserie, Demel. I can taste the apple strudel and Sakatort. The eyes of much of the world will be on South Africa in June when the best national football teams battle it out for the coveted World Cup. Matches will be taking place across the country with the semi-finals in Cape Town and Durban and the final in Johannesburg. My top tip though is Port Elizabeth on the Eastern Cape with its rugged, unspoiled beaches. And now that Machu Picchu has reopened after the heavy flooding in January, take note that the Inca Trail does remain closed. Officials say they hope that will reopen in the next few weeks. But for now, visitors must travel by road from Cusco to Piscacucho, a 2.5-hour trip, and then board the train for a further 1 hour 20 minutes onwards. Well, if you'd rather wait until everything's back to normal, estimated to be around July, then there are alternatives. Many of Peru's ancient archaeological sites are up on the north coast, like Huaca de la Luna, with its striking friezes discovered less than 20 years ago, as well as Chan Chan, the largest adobe city in the world. Well, that's a quick look at some of my top tips over the coming months. I hope something inspires a trip. Happy travelling, and until next time, goodbye.